Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Monday the 15th of October, 15th of November, 2021. So, I always say share our live stream as we go live. Those of you on Facebook, a special good night to you. Share our live stream. Those of you on YouTube, TT Real Talk, subscribe, hit the bell, and you will know when we go live. A special good night to you also. Those of you that are locked on to Synergy Television, viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali, good night to you also. Call your friends, call your family. Those of you up the Caribbean and around the globe, continue to share our live stream. So viewers, remember, those of you that are having spiritual problems, feel free to contact me. Those of you who have properties to sell or looking for a property to buy, you can also contact me. 339-1670 or 238-6716. So as we start off our program tonight, those of you who have been waiting for your COC, your Certificate of Character, the TTPS wishes to inform the public that the resumption of Certificate of Character service will begin today, Monday, 15th of November, 2021, at all police stations. However, the online application process remains the same. This shift from the previous 2 stations per division arrangements. However, online application process remains as is. It remains the same. Now, just to inform you, walk-in applications will not be entertained at this time. So viewers, those of you who are going for your COC or applying for a COC, you can only do it online. You cannot walk into a station and tell them you come to apply for a Certificate of Character, which is a COC. Make your application online, otherwise you will be denied when you enter the station. The Commissioner of Police, former Commissioner of Police, Griffith, resigned, but there seems to be a lot of back and forth statements. Former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith have responded to statements on the Commissioner of Police merit list. In a statement, Griffith referred to recent comments by a criminologist, despite that the murder rate, disputing the murder rate, had not increased since he stepped down as police commissioner. Griffith said, crime increased since his suspension from police service, while during his tenure, confidence in the police service increased. Now, Griffith disputed comments that there was no spike in murder. When the commissioner resigned, or were out of the portfolio then, how much did the murder rate went up by? Approximately 50? A recent request for judicial review on Griffith's suspension by the past members of the Police Service Commission was withdrawn after Griffith decided to discontinue the matter. Following Griffith's suspension, all of the former PSC members resigned. Imagine that, eh? Imagine that. One inquiry into the Commissioner of Police, the former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, everybody in the PSC resigned. Such a sad thing. Such a sad thing. Now I will tell you something. Those in authority, especially in the TTPS, I want you all to understand something. Stop comparing murder rate. Try and solve murders. You see, when you compare 2021 with 2020 and then 2020 with 2019, you are hoping it goes down. Stop hoping. Stop hoping. You see, I'm going to tell you something. If you start putting out a little reward, if Crime Stoppers start putting out a little reward for information leading to murder or the arrest of a murder suspect, that will be good. That would be good. But the thing is, when you go in the station to make a report, because this officer know that criminal individual, the person who come to make the report now, they have to be afraid. Because I will tell you something. Why am I making that statement? Listen carefully. We have a witness protection system in Trinidad. And why it is that witnesses of murder are fearful to come forward. Why? What have we seen in the past? Many people are complaining on the streets of Trinidad and Tobago that whenever they go to make a report of a certain individual, it goes back to the person A and say, hey, before the individual reach home, the person who that went to make the report on this call them, hey, so I hear you went to make a report on me. That need to fix. That need to fix. And until that fix, crime will continue to be rampant in Trinidad. Yes, we understand that there are rogue officers. We understand that. But the Commissioner of Police, former commissioner, was dealing with it. Have any other commissioners of Trinidad and Tobago dealt with it? Griffith wanted polygraph testing. Some hierarchy, you know what? We're not going to do polygraph testing because it is against one right. Really? You need protective service. You need to be polygraphed very often. We have officers charged for human trafficking. We have officers charged for illegal firearm. And use police? So I wonder why. What caused the Prime Minister to lose confidence in Griffith? You find the police service was shaken up a little bit? Or were you afraid of the information Griffith has? You see, I ain't picking no side, you know. I am just laying down the facts as is. As is. And if somebody don't stand up and change it, it will continue going down the drain. And citizens will continue to say, well, nobody ain't doing nothing. That is why I am here to talk about it. So not only Trinidad and Tobago, but individuals, police commissioners, ministers of national security outside of Trinidad and Tobago will understand what's taking place in Trinidad. You see, I'm going to tell you something. There is news. There's controlled news, then I should use that term. Controlled news. And there are people who will bring the news to you, the citizen, as it is. Uncontrolled. Call a good night.
Saieed, good night. How are you?
I'm okay. Go right ahead, my friend. You're live on Real Talk.
I have 2 points to make. One is that last week, a relative of mine went to a river hospital.
Yes.
In the morning at 8 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, he didn't get to see a doctor. When they found out already going to the hospital, they only have one doctor working in the hospital, and that doctor was in ICU. So how is the other thing could only have one doctor working in a big hospital like Arima?
That's a big hospital, you know.
Yeah, Arima's a big hospital.
One doctor?
What he do? He was out of order, and this kind of stupidity in Parliament. What is really doing with this country? I went to St. Joseph Health Center yesterday, right? I went to ask them to do a test. a COVID test. They tell me after some symptoms before they do a COVID test. Isn't it that this government was supposed to test everybody in Trinidad? What I'm doing only testing you they buy. They sell it out to private hospital to charge $2,000 to do a COVID test. What are you going to all these people in this country, man?
I understand your plight.
The other point I want to make is the police service. The policemen are their own enemy inside. You remember when they're supposed to put a commissioner, Dulalchan was there, they didn't want no Indian, just like with Kamal and Chambers at that time. They are they don't want to put in either. Everything have their own shoes and the front foot. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my friend, for highlighting it. So, viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but nevertheless, when we return, it's Mashup Monday right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali. Consultant and real estate businessman.
Can't watch Real Talk on TV? Have no fear. You can also watch Real Talk on the go live on YouTube and Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali on youtube.com and TT Real Talk on facebook.com. Don't forget to like us and share us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell.
Are you looking for the right investment? Are you looking for a greater return on your hard-earned cash? Look no further. Contact Real Talk Group of Companies located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. At Real Talk Investment, you can earn up to 3.5% interest on your 3-year investment. Don't miss out on this amazing offer. Do contact us now on 339-1670, 238-6716 for further information. Our helpful team is ready to assist. Real Talk Investment. Real people matter to us. This ad was paid for by Real Talk Group of Companies Limited.
Are you looking for quick cash and do not know where to turn? We have got the answer for you. Visit us at Real Talk Group of Companies. We are a licensed money lending financial institution. We are located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Our phone numbers are 339-1670, 267-7325 or 238-6716. Contact us today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, for the month of November, Real Talk Investment, which means you can open a fixed deposit system at Real Talk Financing and Investment Company. And for the month of November, you can get 2.75% highest interest paid presently on any fixed deposit system in Trinidad and Tobago at Real Talk Financing and Investment Company. Now remember, viewers, Real Talk Investment is giving away a Range Rover and a BMW. We are raising funds to put food on the less fortunate home for Christmas. So yes, we have started our drive early. We have our Range Rover up for grab and also our BMW up for grab. So if you're interested within either one of those two luxurious vehicles, all you have to do is make a contribution of $1,000 towards our food drive. Remember, this is for the less fortunate. This is not for Saieed. This is not for the workers. It's not for the rich. It's not for the middle class. It's for the less fortunate for Christmas. All you could do is contact us, 238-6716 or 339-1670 to make a contribution. So hear this now, viewers. Opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisasa is calling on Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to state if the decision to end the SOE early was to facilitate campaign in the leading up to the Tobago House of Assembly, that is the THA, elections on December 6. The House of Representatives will sit on Wednesday, is Wednesday coming, to debate a motion to lift the SOE. Now let me read something for you under the different sections. Under section 10.1, the Constitution states the SOE can be extended before it expires by a simple majority vote of the House for 3 months. Section 10.2 states the SOE can be further extended from time to time, but not more than 3 months at one time. An additional extension needs 3/5 majority votes in the House and Senate for approval. This means opposition support for the former and for the latter. Opposition and independent senators support. Section 10.3 of the Constitution states the proclamation of the SOE can be revoked at any time by a simple majority of the House. So my question to you, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, when the cases were not much like 400, 300 a day, we had curfew. We had SOE. Our rights were suspended. Now we have cases going up. Our Prime Minister wants to end the SOE on Wednesday, the 17th of November. So my thing is now, we have an election coming up in Tobago. Oh, by the way, I believe that was over the weekend. If not today, I believe. So imagine that. Is the SOE being lifted because of the Tobago House of Assembly election in Tobago? And what does the health minister have to say concerning the rise in cases? And what does the CMO have to say concerning the cases rising? So is it okay now to end the SOE while the cases keep going 200, 300, 400, 500? But when it is 120, 150, sometimes you drop to 75, is it okay to have cases? Or we want to go to Tobago and do this? That's what we're doing in Tobago? But I go tell you something, come November 30th or September 1st, when you can't pay your property tax, you'll be whining like that in front of the magistrate. You'll be sweeping the floor and shaking your head and crying tears long like a ravine. So I want to ask the Prime Minister, I want to ask the CMO, I want to ask the Minister of Health, do you think now is the time to lift the SOE? When the Delta variant is rampant? CMO, where are you? Terence! Let me tell you something now. If you all don't agree with the Prime Minister, you all might be looking for our next job come next week. So do you really care about the cases spreading? How would you manage it? The SOE is from 10 I believe, from 10 in the night to 5 in the morning. So is it because of the election you guys decide to lift the SOE while the Delta is spreading and the cases reaching 400 and 500? Call good night.
Good night, Said. You know, that is why the population is not taking this government serious.
Correct.
Look at today what's happening in Tobago. Police, the ACP in Tobago harassing the PDP candidate. So you cannot be more than 10. And look at what is happening with the PNM People not and you had police and not a single word was said to them. So is it safe to say that the police is the arm of the PNM? I like to think so. Look how vindictive these people can be. You remember before, people can't go out, people can't do nothing. COVID is deadly, this, that, and the other. People get charged for not paying. Look at what is happening today. Look, you're having death. You know, double figure death. Look, 500-600 people. And that is what they're saying. I believe the amount is much more than that. The government going to lift SOE now? Now it is not, you see, look at the last election, the general election.
Yes.
The same with the behavior there of the PNM. So what sort of system we have? Look at the among the money that was spent. You remember these students going to the university. People, just because they cannot afford, government cut their funding. Those brilliant students, because there is a certain ethnicity, they cannot get a scholarship. They have already been getting places in international universities. You cut the scholarship to give your supporters bursaries. What kind of government is this, man? You know, this is not the PNM money, it is not the PNM treasury. You know, they want to lie down on the road and whine and grind and whatever.
Yes.
You know, nothing is wrong with that. But the pie must be distributed evenly. You know, before I alluded, when David Dollar Chan was supposed to be commissioner, they didn't want him. Now it's the same thing with Gary Griffith. You understand?
Yes.
What kind of thing is it with this PNM government? It is time that, you see, that is why I'm making a clarion call. Divide the damn country in two. Who want to stay with PNM, stay. You understand what I'm saying? You can't let 200,000-300,000 people dominate 1-point-something million people in this place. Thanks a lot, friend.
Thank you, my friend. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that Parliament will convene on Wednesday to end the SOE, or state of emergency, although COVID-19 cases and deaths have been increasing. He added that the SOE gave the country breathing room to start the vaccination program. However, TNT can do without it now.
The state of emergency gave us breathing room to start and continue the vaccination program, but we can do without it now. So on Wednesday, the Parliament will meet, and we will discontinue the state of emergency, and we'll continue to manage the vaccinated population and the unvaccinated population under the public health ordinance.
All you hear that? All you hear that? Why didn't they leave it from 9 or from 10 to 5? Just asking. The PNM stated that the SOE was a holding arrangement to reduce the period of exposure and gathering.
It was being misrepresented in recent times that the state of emergency was the government's way of bullying the country to do what the Prime Minister wants and the government to do what it wants. And it was to fight crime, and therefore we have murders, so therefore the state of emergency has failed. Let me just remind the population what the purpose of the state of emergency was. It came into being in May, before we had a significant number of persons vaccinated. It was a holding arrangement to reduce the period of exposure and mixing until such time as we could have a rollout of a vaccination program.
I'll believe that. A breathing room to start the vaccination program, or was it to control the spread of COVID-19? I believe that's what they said earlier. It was to prevent the jump in cases and to prevent the spread of COVID-19. You can't tell me you kept the SOE to make a breathing space so people will get vaccinated. What about the people who vaccinated and getting COVID-19? Can the CMO or the health minister answer that? You created a breathing room. Wasn't the SOE Didn't they implement that to stop the spread of COVID-19? Wasn't that their message? Now cases are going up. You want to lift the SOE. And you telling me now that we don't need it anymore while the cases going up? While the cases going up, we don't need it. So it is okay now. It is okay now to go and jump in a van now and spread COVID-19. Let me tell you something. That's a two-tongue twister. I'm telling you that. 1 minute is to control the spread of COVID-19. 1 minute is to breathe in room for vaccine. Now we have the cases going up, Delta spreading, people dying in the hundreds, COVID spreading. 3 digits in the hundreds. Now we don't need our SOE. Now, one would say, but Saeed, the SOE finally come to an end. Ask yourself this question. When we had won something, we were locked down in our house and business shut down. Now we have 5 and 6 cases, 100 cases. We remove an SOE? Ask yourself that. You see, I am here to remind you. Listen this. He advised the population that the government can now remove this restriction and allow more of the population to take responsibility for themselves. Dr. Rowley states that COVID-19 situation is a long haul.
I just want to advise the population that while we can't do other things, what we can do now is to remove that restriction and allow those elements of the economy for whom the state of emergency and the curfew is a stricture of some kind, and allow the population to take more responsibility for itself, because this is what it is going to be. There is no shortcut. We are now to confirm that the situation that we are in with COVID-19 is a long haul. It's a long haul.
So viewers, that is what your PM had to tell you. That is what your PM had to tell you. So are you all satisfied? I hope you all are satisfied. Because come November 30th and September 1st, I want to see how many of you will be bawling, "Great is the PNM," while Colin Mimbert is smiling at you all. That is what I'm waiting to see. September 1st, 2nd, 3rd, how much of you will pay property tax? There is a penalty. And Colin Mimbert is skinning his teeth while he's laughing at you, UNC, you PNM, you PDP. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have stated that the public health ordinance still stands and persons will still be required to be masked. Public gathering will remain at 10 and parties will not remain prohibited. Public transport will remain at 75% capacity. However, there is still a slight easing of some other restrictions. Dr. Rowley said religious service will remain at a 90-minute, but the occupancy of initial gathering will be 50%. As of graveside, 25% are now allowed. Fully vaccinated persons will be able to use public pools as they will fall under the safe zone initiative, but beaches will remain closed. However, Beaches are to remain closed. The PM stated that the beach can attract a certain type of activity and that is coming together, crowding and partying.
The fear is that once we open the beaches, open beaches attract a certain kind of activity. And that activity is coming together, crowding and partying. Or if not at the beach, it's after the beach line, or entrepreneurially at beach houses associated with the beaches. That's what we're afraid of. Not the beach itself, not being in the water or being on the beach. So we are holding it for a little while, but I'm hoping that before Christmas, we should be able to go back into the beach environment with some kind of restrictions. In fact, well before Christmas, I would say that maybe we could start with some morning opening up, but especially for those people for whom that going to the sea in the morning to get that therapy in the water, I am very concerned about that. I mean, I've tried to get that going, and I presume that in the very near future, we should be able to do that and just absorb that element of.
He warned that persons who breach the public health guidelines or regulations will face consequences for their action. I'll tell you something, I know what to say again. I ain't know what to say again. Serious. Serious. At one time we had the mask up to go to the beach. It wasn't, all I remember that time when we had the mask up to go to the beach? COVID wasn't spreading. It wasn't spreading. Now they banned beaches for nearly 2 years, almost 2 years. A year and something. Now COVID spreading on the beach. But here they say, the safe zone. You could be an asymptomatic carrier. You could have your 2 doses of vaccine. Get COVID-19. Decide now to jump in a bar. Drink a little 2 cents or a little 3 cents. While having COVID-19. While being 2-dose vaccinated. Hey, Terrence, what are they, boy? Where's the CMO? Where's the CMO? Let me say this different. I am expecting in January next year for the Prime Minister to come out in a media briefing again and say, because of the spike with COVID-19, we are forced to bring back the SOE. And then I go hear what Ole had to say. Remember Easter? All remember Easter? The safest place to be is in Tobago. Come, enjoy yourself. Don't cause no problem. When you done, come back to Trinidad. Boom, shut, lockdown right after. Case spiking up. What we get? SOE. THA election coming up. Cases rising. You know what? No election. No cases. We got balance till after 10 in the night now, man. Music truck running till after 10 in the night. And we good to go. You have a mask on, so you can't get COVID-19. Correct, CMO? Terrence, they asking, am I correct? I'm asking you. You all are the health ministers. I just want to be advised by how to use this. Let me see, people or individuals who have studied medicine and diseases. What we call them? Practicing doctors, high-ranking officials in health facilities. These are the ones that give me advice, not a pharmacist. once. Hey, you always embarrass Trinidad and Tobago in the most simplest way. The most simplest way you always embarrass Trinidad and Tobago. Caller, good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
My friend.
2 quick points there.
Talk to me.
Number one, that was the situation where the election Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
You hit the nail on the head in.
Correct.
That is the only reason why he ended the
They wanted to lift it, yes.
People need to see, Tobagonians need to see the reason why he lifted the SO yet. So if cases right in
You went for a
Tobago.
break just now?
If cases right in Tobago.
6,
And he lifted the
7:30.
SO.
It's only one.
That means he don't care about them. But here the reason I call I read in the papers today, Fitzgerald Lines come out and say expect a crime spike after the SOE ends.
Uh-huh.
So if you is the Minister of National Security and you telling citizens to expect a crime spike, we are leaving for we.
Correct.
Understand what I'm saying?
Well said.
Hey, that's in real. I don't know what to say again, but it's right enough. Anyway, you enjoy your night time.
Thank you, my friend. Same to you. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but nevertheless, there's lots more in store. Where? Right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Are you looking for quick cash and do not know where to turn? We have got the answer for you. Visit us at Real Talk Group of Companies. We are a licensed money lending financial institution. We are located at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Our phone numbers are 339-1670, 267-7325 or 238-6716. Contact us today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Are you looking for the right investment? Are you looking for a greater return on your hard-earned cash? Look no further. Contact Real Talk Group of Companies located at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas. At Real Talk Investment, you can earn up to 3.5% interest on your 3-year investment. Don't miss out on this amazing offer. Do contact us now on 339-1670, 238-6716 for further information. Our helpful team is ready to assist. Real Talk Investment. Real people matter to us. This ad was paid for by Real Talk Group of Companies Limited.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. So Tobagonians, this is for you. And I would like somebody from Tobago to really call in. We have a call on the line? Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
My friend.
To you and all your listeners. And I'm going to comment on I am the imitation vaccine vegan, but my contribution is going to be the real vaccine imitation. No, the real vaccine vegan. Sorry.
Talk to me.
Listen to this. His action to truncate the SOE is callous. If people understand how this thing started to skyrocket, in April it was 149. In May it started to shoot up, and in June, the beginning of June, he bust the SOE in us.
Yes.
Now he cutting it short 2 weeks in advance. That is for him to dingo in Tobago. And I want to know how much debt he is willing to sacrifice in Tobago for holding on to power in the THA. All of those debts could be avoided because it's not going to come down, you know. The way it has morphed, the Delta variant, they can't hold it back, so it has to take its course. So you're saying come to Tobago, you go on in Tobago, you see how they dingole today? They dingole today. And you know the policeman, the chief policeman, the Jacob man, use the discretion, he lock up none of them. I'm expecting about 45,000 of them to get locked up tomorrow. I mean, I've been practical. But let me tell you, all those deaths in Tobago, the likelihood that could have been prevented, you know how? To pull straw or to share power with the people. But his ego and his willingness to hold on to power is causing Tobagonians to lose their life. And I'm hoping karma take its course. because Karma don't sleep. She is awake and she will deliver for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. It can't go on again. Blatant, callous actions are going to have a nice.
Thank you, my friend. So Tobago, this is for you. And I know the whole of Tobago, almost 80% of Tobago has been locked onto Real Talk with Saieed Ali. So this is for you, my friends in Tobago. PNM Tobago Council political leader Tracy Davison Celestine has admitted that the THA Division of Health, Wellness and Family Development is struggling to fully open the Roxburgh Hospital, owing to the lack of specialist medical officers. The $98 million hospital, which was commissioned by Prime Minister in January, is expected to be fully operational this month. However, Davison Celestine admits finding specialist medical staff for the hospital has been challenging. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Or you could take it lying down, or you could take it standing up. Or if you was opening your fridge door, as the Prime Minister said, it is very simple to fix a health problem, especially where specialist is concerned. Now listen to this. Trinidad and Tobago Registered Nurses Association, they were only allowed to have a contract with 3 to 6 months in Trinidad. But Cuban doctors and nurses were coming in and they were getting 3 years contract. Terrence, I want you to listen to me. Or if somebody knows Terrence, tell him I, Saeed, putting him in place. Davison Celestine, hear this. Hear this. If all you wanted to open that hospital, it was commissioned by the Prime Minister in January. If you all wanted specialists or medical staff for that hospital, you all would have opened up employment. Take what I'm telling you. How hard it is. How hard it is. Just how you all allowing the Cubans to come in and the Nigerians to come in and the South Africans to come in and the Colombian doctors to come in, and you all could have found specialists, or in proper term, you all could have relate with the Colombia or the Mexican government or the Cuban government for some of their specialists to come across in Tobago and train medical experts that we have down here in certain fields. Talk now, Celestine. Now is the time to open your mouth. Because Tobago want to see where the cable run. I want to know where it is. I want to go. Let me tell you something, Celestine. If you only come out and say where is the zipliner in Tobago, let me tell you something. It's me and my whole family and my staff coming to go zipline in Tobago. Take what I'm telling you. It's a nice experience. It's a fun experience. I could bring my whole staff in Tobago just for the zipline experience. But you cannot tell me where it is. You cannot tell me where the cable is. You can't tell me where the handle is. You can't tell me where the iron structure is. But you're coming now to promise citizens of Tobago a better tomorrow. Rowley further stated, hear this, the PM stated, just now, follow me. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has responded to opposition assertion that the country has 52 intensive care units for its 1.4 million population. Talking health, eh? MP for Naparima, Rodney Charles, questioned why are there only 52 ICU beds for the entire country when some 5 billion has already been spent on the COVID-19 pandemic thus far. 5 billion, and we have 52 beds. The PM states that at the start of the pandemic, in March 2020, so let me pull back. Let me pull back this. Remember one time Terrence said, since in January they were in negotiation? So I want to ask the Prime Minister, when did the pandemic, COVID-19, start in Trinidad? January, February, or March? The PM stated that at the start of the pandemic, in March 2020, TNT had 2 intensive care units at the Cuba Hospital, which was already, or I should say, which was eventually expanded. Rowley further stated that the total ICU capacity is up to 104 and not 52.
Ministry's response in March 2020 started with 2 ICU beds in Cuba specifically for persons who would have been afflicted from COVID-19. ICU bed capacity has since significantly increased from 35 beds to include an additional 31 ICU beds at ward level and an additional 16 beds at the accident and emergency level. This represents a 100% increase over that period of time, Madam Speaker. The Ministry took a further decision to activate 16 more ICU beds in Trinidad and 6 more in Tobago. This will bring our total ICU capacity up to 104 and not 52. 104 ICU beds, Madam Speaker.
So well, I will have to ask Marian Abdul Richards now, how many beds or ICU beds do we really have? Because she's stating one figure and he's stating another figure. All you catch me, Trinidad and Tobago? All you catch me? Good. Good. Hear this. However, Principal Medical Officer Dr. Marian Abdul Richard previously stated that there were 61 ICU beds in Trinidad and Tobago. Listen this.
This morning, there are 52 beds out of a total of 60 beds that are currently operational and activated in Trinidad and Tobago.
What is that? Run back the Prime Minister clip.
Once in March 2020, started with 2 ICU beds in Cuba specifically for persons who would have been afflicted from COVID-19. ICU bed capacity has since significantly increased from 35 beds to include an additional 31 ICU beds at ward level and an additional 16 beds at the accident and emergency level. This represents a 100% increase over that period of time, Madam Speaker. The Ministry took a further decision to activate 16 more ICU beds in Trinidad and 6 more in Tobago. This will bring our total ICU capacity up to 104 and not 52. 104 ICU beds, Madam Speaker.
This morning, there are 52 beds out of a total of 60 beds that are currently operational and activated in Trinidad and Tobago.
Mariam, thank you so much, darling. What we saying? Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. One saying 61, one saying 104. Who are we to believe, Trinidadians, Tobagonians? Is that your Prime Minister? Let me tell you something. There are controlled media and there is uncontrolled media. You can't control me. I will bring the reality to you, the citizens. I will bring the facts to you, the citizens. So how many ICU beds, or I should say intensive care unit, do we really have in Trinidad? All that talk now? All that talk now? Principal Medical Officer Mariam Abdul-Ruchel has emphasized that health workers were burnt out, overwhelmed and tired. She stated that within the past week, there has been significant increase in patients seeking medical care, with 90% of them being unvaccinated or not fully vaccinated. Mariam added that the occupancy level in the intensive care unit of 86% of beds in Trinidad and Tobago are filled. So to tell you the truth, she talking about the ICU beds. I don't know if it's 61 or I don't know if it's 104. So I really cannot say the 86% of the bed. I don't know if it related in 86% of the 51 or 86% of the 104. I really don't know. But she also mentioned that there were 5 children in parallel healthcare system, with 3 of them receiving ICU treatment. Listen to this.
Over the last 26 days, we have been sharing with the population that 90% and upwards of all the patients in our ICUs are not fully vaccinated. Of more concern would be the occupancy in the ICU. And in the intensive care unit, 86% overall between Trinidad and Tobago of beds are filled. We are now seeing children. We have 5 children in the parallel healthcare system this morning. 3 out of 5 are in intensive care units in the parallel healthcare system.
Now I will tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. The doctors are really burnt. I understand that. I understand that. Now, she also stated that they cannot continue along this path because they will run out of resources. Wait, is that resources as in bed? Or we have to go to the Heritage and Stabilization Fund again after we hear $5 billion spent? Go to the video.
We continue to try our very best, our medical team. I am here appealing not just on behalf of the health team and the Honourable Minister and the Honourable Prime Minister and others here, but on behalf of every single frontline doctor, the medical chiefs of staff that have worked tirelessly since February 2020. Please, Trinidad and Tobago, we plateaued for 113, 114 days. We have been updating the population. Our team is trying our utmost best. We cannot continue along this path. If we continue along this path, despite adding intensive care unit beds, ward level beds, increasing ambulances, increasing the proportion of advanced life care ambulances, we will soon run out of these resources. We are trying our utmost best to save lives.
I want to hear something. Let me tell you something. I had a lot of bacchanals tonight. A lot of truth come out here tonight. Right? Now I'm going to tell you something. How many of you have been using Ivermectin since COVID-19 was introduced to Trinidad and Tobago? Listen to this. I tell you, it's Mash Up Monday, you know. Where does he get that? Only on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. So here it is. Oh, before I go further, viewers, remember, for the month of November, those of you who are interested in getting a 2.75% interest on your hard-earned cash, come down to Real Talk Financing and Investment Company, located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shoguanas. Come set up a fixed deposit system with us and inherit or benefit from 2.75%. No other financial institution are giving you that. And you all could go and check. Remember, we have our food drive. All you have to do is make a contribution of $1,000 and you could win a BMW or a Range Rover. It's for the poor, not for side pocket. God have already blessed side. You think if God didn't bless side, you think I could have shot a Range Rover or for grab or a BMW? Come on, think about it. When you want to see God work in your life, you press and God will open the way for you. That is what I just do. How many of you are using Ivermectin? Listen to this. Minister of Health Terence Yalsing stated that some private medical practitioners are treating patients who have contracted COVID-19 with antibiotics and other medications. I wonder what Terence and his team of officials, medical officials, used while people were in quarantine at all those facilities they have rented. What were you using, Terence, for your bill or a patient bill to come up to $200,000 per COVID-19 patient? Or if I forget earlier. The Food and Drug Administration, that is the FDA website, states that ivermectin is approved for human use to treat infections caused by some parasites, worm, and certain skin condition, and such drug was not approved for treating COVID-19. Keep in mind, we're up to 3 doses now. Keep that in mind. 1 and 2 supposed to do it, but we're up to 3 now. Keep that in mind. The Yalsing states that doctors informed him that patients are being treated by private doctors or private sector doctors at home with a combination of ivermectin and antibiotics to treat the virus. He added that these patients are being given antibiotics as first-line therapy for a viral infection together with ivermectin, alternative medication, and home oxygen.
But yesterday, doctors with whom I met are burnt out. They are tired. Quite frankly, they are fed up. And nurses. And what the doctors are telling me is that patients are being treated by their private sector doctors at home with a combination of the following drugs. 1, ivermectin. 2, antibiotics to treat a viral infection. There is a place for antibiotics if you have a secondary bacterial infection coming out of a viral infection. But antibiotics, as the doctors will tell you, as the doctors yesterday were amazed when they take the case history, these patients are being given antibiotics as first-line therapy for a viral infection, together with ivermectin, together with alternative medicine, together with home oxygen.
Now, viewers, the Yalsing also pointed out that when patients have low oxygen level for 3 to 5 days before arriving to the hospital system, they are immediately admitted into ICU, given they were treated with ivermectin and antibiotics at home.
And what they reported to me yesterday is that these patients are now hypoxic at home. Hypoxia means you don't have enough oxygen for 3 to 5 days before calling the ambulance. and before coming to the hospital system. And when they reach, because they have been treated at home with ivermectin, antibiotics, they need to go immediately into ICU.
Now, viewers, I want to let you all know something. There are doctors out here and there are pharmacists out here. A lot of doctors throughout Trinidad and Tobago, I know, have prescribed antibiotics, also ivermectin. Because I will tell you something. Doctors will have more insight than Terrence. Because these doctors study medicine. They study medicine. And I know a lot of doctors and pharmacists who are using ivermectin. We have come to the end of our show tonight. But nevertheless, I am Saeed. You are viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali. There's a repeat of this program tomorrow at 11:30 to 12:30. And tune in with me Tuesday the 16th of November for another live episode of Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Until we meet again, good night.